They didn't think they never cared about her. They thought that she was a clown. That wasn't it.
Yeah.
It was they ran with the clip. Nobody ever cared about Chuck. And so, Chuck went on multiple different venues trying to capitalize on it, and just nobody cared because it was never about Chuck. It was always about me.
Yeah, I saw this. This was posted. Well, this is 4 months old, but I never seen this. And so this is Enemy Charlie finally tells her side. The debate with Andrew Wilson. Yep. So, yeah, Charlie, I guess, did a whole COPE interview with Sean Kelly of Digital Social Hour. And she talks about her legendary Andrew Wilson debate. Yep. COPE. Yep. Oh, God, Sean Kelly again. Yes. But it might be worth watching to see the Enemy Charlie COPE. Chuck doing a COPE stream. Yeah, COPE interview. A COPE interview. Charlie the Transformer. Yep. Charlie the Transformer. So I'm surprised I haven't watched this yet. Like I said, this is 4 months old. I saw it posted in the Discord and I was like, what the hell? All right, so let's begin this COPE. What is this? What is this? Disclaimer: we have done our best to present the facts as we see them. However, we make no guarantees or promises regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of the information provided. In addition, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the producer of this program. All right, got you loud and clear, Digital Social Hour, loud and clear.
Okay, guys, at Spotify Studios in Los Angeles, here with someone you've probably been seeing recently. We got Enemy Charlie here, coming off a really viral debate with Andrew Wilson. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Did you expect this virality?
No, not at all. I really thought, frankly, this was gonna get washed away. And not be anything for me. So I'm very shocked.
Yeah, because you've debated him a few times before this one, right?
Yeah, and nothing really came of those debates other than his followers harassing me. So it was like, yeah, this will probably
harassment.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that dangerous Andrew Wilson. Dangerous Andrew Wilson harassers that we're all known for in this community. That's all we do. We just harass. It's because of the dangerous rhetoric that Andrew Wilson puts out there.
Yeah, because I saw you debated him virtually once and then on whatever prior to this one, right?
No, I did 2 online debates with him on Sarah the Raging Tomatoes platform. Yeah. And then whatever reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do a third with him.
Got it. So were the 2 prior to this one about the same topic or were they different?
They were different. The first one was on, is it moral to take land? Which was a very oddly phrased question, and I was asked to come support someone. And we didn't really talk much about colonization. We talked about meta-ethics, which was exhausting.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
Just like,
That's what they always complain about. I wasn't here to debate ethics. I wasn't here about it's because these libs all come on here and be like, do you think they always try to morally grandstand and virtue signal, so then it's a good question. Where do you get your ethics from? And it's like, what? I didn't come here to talk about ethics. By the way, I don't remember that. I'm going to look that up real quick. I don't remember that being the original prompt, the prompt for that debate. Let's see. Enemy Charlie, Andrew Wilson, Raging Tomato. Oh, actually it was. Yeah. Is it immoral to take land by force? Okay. All right. Just didn't remember.
Like discourse on the like the nature of morality, its basis, is it objective, relativist, like things like that. Sort of. And then the second one.
Okay. Miss Mom, Andrew mentioned it one time on stream that Sean had talked some shit. I think this is what he meant. Okay, I didn't know that. Because yeah, I saw Andrew once comment on Sean Kelly and pretty much calling him like a piece of crap and stuff. And I was confused. I was like, holy crap, I didn't know that there was beef there. And I thought maybe Andrew was just upset because he was a shit moderator. But I was like, is there any more to that? Because he seemed like he's like, yeah, he's a guy. He's like a real piece of crap and blah, blah, blah. So, okay, we'll see what Sean Kelly says in this interview as well.
Was more of a discussion follow-up from the debate.
Got it.
Because I had said I felt like he didn't debate with me in good faith and was just trying to own me.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to actually hear his side. And so that's what happened the next time.
So I've heard that now from a few people that have debated him, that it didn't feel like it was like that. So
That's a different guy, TVT.
I guess what made you want to do it a third time if that's how you felt?
I mean, I almost didn't do it. Just because I was like, gosh, this feels so pointless because I don't know if he's going to meet me in good faith, but because he was fairly good faith-ish the time before, I assumed that it could be an interesting conversation at
Got
the
it.
very least, where I was hoping to, learn more about his worldview and why he feels that feminism is bad for society.
And what did you take away from that third one? I know there's those viral clips and whatnot, but was there anything substantive that you took away?
No, which was really disappointing. Leading up to the clip, I had asked him, we debated for ages.
6 hours, right?
Yeah, God. I mean, at the 4-hour mark, we were kind of winding down. And I said, okay, what do you think you could sell me, a life without feminism? Like me particularly, like how would my life be better? He did not do that. Basically.
Well, obviously, you're too stupid to understand the argument. So, of course, you wouldn't understand. The Fallen, thank you very much for the $2. Sorry, I'm late. Cool on a flight back to Vegas. Hey, it's all good. Have a safe flight, brother. Thank you very much for the 2. They always moralize and then they hate when they lose the ethics debate. Yeah, exactly.
All he did was go, well, you say feminism is about freedom, but you liked the COVID pandemic lockdown, so therefore you're authoritarian. And I was like, okay, well that
I mean,
that's kind of a fallacious argument, and also was not an answer.
Yeah, Marte. Yeah, I looked it up right now, and yeah, it was the you and Andrew versus Chuck and that other dude. I forgot the guy's name.
The question.
That was the first time she debated Andrew.
And I felt like he was mostly trying to clip farm in that moment,
I did see that part of it.
Dude, it's nuts how they always accuse like us of trying to clip farm. Like it's just crazy, but that's what they try to do. That's their whole thing. Like they'll accuse Andrew of trying to clip farm. And it just reminds me of my debate with First Amender. Like he accused me of trying to clip farm. And I'm like, dude, you're literally like every 5 minutes literally telling me I'm going to clip that. And it's like, dude, you guys are the clip farmers, not us. We're actually trying to have good faith debates and you're just in it for the clips.
I was trying to connect the dots there on that analogy he was making. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also was too, because I felt like, however you felt about the COVID pandemic, those were temporary measures. At the very most,
temporary.
like a year and a half, and they weren't even
only a year and a half.
As many other countries.
Only a year and a half. Oh, that was all. Oh, dang, that's true. It was only a year and a half, guys. Only a year and a half.
And it was a health crisis.
And there was also a lot we didn't know at the time. So I felt like I reacted
how's it going, Rachel?
to how you did at first, and then once more information was learned, I went out and about.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, he had Chuck on. This was 4 months ago, but someone posted it into my Discord, so I actually never seen this before. But I was like, oh, a COPE interview from Chuck. I've never seen this, so I figured I would review it.
That's what I did. I was, worried at first, like everyone else, because what's going on, and then I went, oh, okay, this is what we can do while doctors and scientists are working to make sure hospitals aren't overwhelmed.
Yeah. How did you feel about Rachel Willison calling in and joining? Was that pre-discussed or anything?
No.
Right on time.
That was kind of shocking. And
is she talking about her debate with Andrew? Or are they talking about other stuff? Yeah, they're talking about the debate with Andrew. And now, as you see, and as you see, they're going to talk about you right now. Yeah.
Strange.
Rachel Willison calling in and joining. Was that pre-discussed or anything?
No. That was kind of shocking and strange to me. So she had been putting in super chats the whole night before then, kind of saying nasty things about me, making fun of me. but I did not expect her to call in. Mostly what I felt like was it, I feel that shame was the motivator for her
Shame.
there. I feel like she was embarrassed, and
Oh my gosh.
she spent a lot of time justifying herself and her actions, which I didn't even judge her for. Because I mean, Wilson never let me finish my point, but my whole point was that, I do not think it's immoral for a woman to have children with 3 different men. I think that that's fine.
Mhm.
But, in a world without feminism, a society without feminism, women such as Rachel would face far more judgment than they already do. She would not have had access to no-fault divorce, child
A
support.
no fault divorce.
There wouldn't be the Violence Against Women Act, things like that. And never got to make that point. So just to be clear, I don't think it's immoral to
Yeah,
have
Andrew started popping off. I still don't know what sniz is.
I love that. One of my favorite things about that debate is about how sniz became like this thing. It became a thing after that debate, sniz, and that's like one of my favorite things. But the thing is that she brought it up as an insult after he called her dumb. So like, why? It was obviously like a retaliation. Like, oh, I'm stupid. Well, you know what, Andrew? I think it's ridiculous that you married a woman with 3 baby daddies and all that stuff. It's obviously was meant to be like an insult. I love how they always pretend like I was out here just trying to get divorced. Exactly. My ex is the one who had to file in order to avoid being criminally prosecuted so he could flee the state. Oof. But yeah, exactly. It's like they're just trying to reach for anything, anything. They're so desperate because they can't beat Andrew on the arguments.
coochie.
Okay.
Um,
That's what everyone in the comments was like.
That was a good time to come back.
point. So just to be clear, I don't think it's immoral
Coochie.
to
Yeah,
have
Andrew started popping off. I still don't know what sniz is.
coochie.
Okay.
Um,
That's what everyone in the comments was like, what is that?
I'd never heard that term before, and it was so weird because so to clarify something, I'm not a lesbian.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not.
Wait, so why do you say that?
Didn't she identify as a lesbian? I could have sworn she identified as at least bisexual or something. I could have sworn in one of the debates that she said that she was some kind of LGBTQ fucking thing. She was one of the letters. I don't remember which ones, but I could have sworn. Yeah, yes, she did. Yeah. Yes, Niz's classic it is. She identifies as confused, don't recognize bi. Yeah. Well, she used to be trans. But what is she now? I could have sworn she was like, oh yeah, I could have sworn she was at least bi. I don't know.
bisexual.
Okay.
I
Oh,
just brought up
okay, so she is bisexual. Yeah, so lesbian.
during the debate, he had said something about women can't physically handle trade, and I said, well, one of my ex-girlfriends was 5'2" and 90 pounds, and she became a welder. So
Mhm.
he just heard I had an ex-girlfriend, and I guess held on to that for 4
Got
hours.
it. Okay. Well, his military argument, I could see about how like men have to
Mhm.
run for miles with backpacks, and heavy
Yeah.
equipment. I could see that argument, but I didn't see the trade argument.
Yeah, it was. Well, I was just trying to make the point is that like
Yeah, she was trying to trend. Yeah, she was on she was on hormone replacement therapy like 10 years ago or testosterone or some shit. So yeah, she was trans, and then I guess she detransitioned, I guess.
a lot of these things can be, any physical inequalities can be mitigated through technology, you know. So that was
I can
my
see that
point.
too. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. 'Cause
She bragged about pegging dudes. Oh my gosh, gross.
war is heading towards that way, actually, anyways.
Yeah, very, very technological. And also there's plenty of women in the military that are doing just fine. And also I think that, while front lines is very important, so is, munitions and healthcare and things like that.
Right.
Support roles are equally as important and sometimes just as deadly.
Yeah, you're very interesting to me because after the debate, you went private on every social media account, right?
Yeah, I privated my Twitter or my X, I guess, because I know that X is very right wing,
Yeah.
and that's where I got most of the harassment before. But I mean, the last time I debated Wilson for 2 months, every day, his followers would spam comments on old things that I'd posted.
Wow.
So yeah, so I kind of limited comments on my Instagram to followers only. Shut down my X, made sure that my Twitch was follower only because
Jeez.
I just didn't want to deal with like the harassment, especially on Twitch.
Harassment. Yeah, I got negative comments. Oh no, harassment. She even said she had better jaw than Andrew, masculine self-reference. Yeah, I remember that. She's like, yeah, look at my jaw. It's stronger than yours, Andrew. I don't want to hear her complain. I had spams on all my social medias and still get them of people constantly accusing me of promiscuity and saying 3 baby daddies. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want my mods to have to do extra work, you know? Like they already have to deal with trolls anyway.
Yeah.
Why make it a million times worse?
It must be annoying because you want to, you know, converse with these opposing views, but if you do, then you get flooded with these comments.
Well, I mean, precisely. And that's kind of, I mean, that's why I wanted to, you know, go on the podcast is that I do have an interest in good faith discourse. I have I don't know, a great need to understand people with different views, which is, I mean, frankly, after the first debate I had with Wilson, I did a ton of research on meta ethics because I was trying to understand why he took such an issue with my stance.
Yeah.
And it does suck that when you have a dialogue with these people, what they're, you know, what the audiences do is attack you.
Yeah, that's not cool. I'm not a fan of that. Like, as
Yeah.
someone that moderates debates, I would never want my opponent's fans to attack.
Wait, he moderates debates? Every time I see him host a debate, he's just sitting there. Seriously. Saying he moderates debates is like saying the broom moderates debates. It's the same amount of moderation. You could have gotten a dummy to sit there, like just a stuffed doll or something, and it would have been the same moderation. What do you mean you moderate debates? You just sit there. Thank you very much, Gavin, for the $5. Sidebar, but drone operators are still near or close to the front line and get captured and executed. Usually the drone argument is null. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Gavin, for the $5.
The other ones.
Yeah. And I mean, there's only so much you can do to control an audience, you know, but I don't know if Wilson's style of debate.
Specifically, I think Rob's chair. Rob's chair would have been a better moderator than Sean. Sean's going to put a lot of debates together in 2026. I think it's good. He has a large platform regardless of his non-moderating moderation. Yeah. No, I agree. Obviously, it's a big platform, so it's a good thing that there's going to be another debate place. Don't get me wrong. It's just that his moderating sucks. Maybe he should at least hire a moderator or something or improve. Yeah, I noticed that too, Mrs. D, because he has like 1 million something like subscribers. And yeah, he only gets like a few thousand, if anything, views. Yeah, he clearly paid for subs because he hardly cracks 1K views. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, clearly bought it. Let me go back a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, there's only so much you can do to control an audience, you know, but I don't know if Wilson's style of debate is necessarily conducive to that because he tends to be more blood sports and personal, which is, I mean, frankly, why his reaction was so shocking to me.
Yeah, I've never seen that side of him. I think that
I've never seen that side of him. Dude, what's funny is that I've actually seen Andrew go off way like much harsher than that. That wasn't anything. I never seen that side of what the hell are you talking about? They act like if he lunged across the table and Brian had to like hold him back. Oh, Andrew, calm down. Nah, fuck this bitch. You know, like it wasn't even like that. It was just like, yeah, so what? Don't you like sniz? Yeah, shut your fucking mouth, bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Like that was it. But they act like he fucking like he threw chairs and shit. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? I think this is what they meant where it's like, yeah, Sean Kelly was just talking shit.
that's why everyone was shocked too, because they've seen him debate
Yeah.
hundreds of people, and for him to react that way, I don't think it's been seen before.
I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily anything about me because people have brought up, you know, his, you know, kind of the schism between what he preaches, which is you know, kind of looking down on women who have any sort of past, you know.
This is from 4 months ago, but I barely discovered it today.
Making digs at single mothers, women who do sex work, women who, you know, have premarital sex, and the fact that he is married to a woman
Mhm.
who has a past like the women that he mocks. I did not expect him to freak out. I thought he would have had an answer. He did not.
I wonder if it was just an accumulation of all the past digs people were giving him for that same issue. Because you're right.
Mhm.
People have attacked him for that in the past, and it maybe just got to him that day.
Maybe. I also think I gosh, I think he's also far more used to having especially on that podcast. I think he maybe wasn't mentally prepared for someone who wasn't going to cry or rage quit.
Mm.
This woman, she's delusional. Thank you very much, podcast lover, for being a member for 3 months. Chuck was angry with Andrew and called him a hypocrite, then a body shamed Rachel. Yep, exactly. Thank you very much, podcast lover. This interview happened right after the debate. Chuck talks a lot of shit about Andrew, and Sean doesn't push back at all. Push. Yeah.
So I think he just had his guard down in a really significant way.
You're right. Usually on those whatever shows, he's kind of, you know, dominating in a sense of just these girls can't keep up with the conversation. Some of them, you know.
Yeah, he's usually very in control of the situation, which is, again, I think why so many people were so shook by what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because he was debating feminists that whole week, and you just happened to be the one where it popped off.
Yeah, it was really freaky, to be honest.
Yeah, you looked very shocked.
Yeah, I just
You were almost speechless the way it looked.
well, I just didn't expect him to
Yeah, she was probably also afraid because Andrew Wilson is a rapist. So I was scared for her too. This is me, Tilly, with my Inspector Gadget coat.
I mean, the sniz stuff, I was like, what?
I was so confused when he said that.
But then also the slurs really took me by surprise. And I think just kind of the nastiness of it. Because I know some people look at like me making the comment about his wife as a low blow. But you know, there's a number of reasons why I don't think it was. She's a political commentator. And you know, the nuclear family and being very hypercritical of women's, you know, intimate past is a part of his platform. And also, she was, you know, posting super chats the whole night. And so I was trying to give him a, you know, a real genuine answer on why feminism benefits him personally, benefits him and his wife. Oh gosh, where were we going with this?
His wife.
Where was my rambling going on to? Thank you very much, Postal Joe, for the $5. When did they talk about the other 5 hours where she lost the debate pathetically? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they're only honed in on that one specific part. Yeah, but what about the rest of the show where she was getting completely freaking dominated? But thank you very much, Postal Joe. Feminism is the reason why I got into that position in the first place. Yeah, exactly. She's the heroic super victim. Yeah.
If Rachel, why you made the comment?
Oh yeah, and I just assumed that he would be ready. But I went back and I looked at some of his prior interviews on the whatever podcast, and it was a little bit. It took a couple of weeks for it to sink in, but I really got the sense that like it kind of disturbed me in a way because I realized that a lot of what he does on that podcast is go out of his way to make women cry.
What?
Make them like get emotional and leave.
Really?
And so
I've seen him do it once, but has that happened multiple times?
yeah, based on the things that I've seen is that he will go pretty low.
I've seen him debate that one feminist, and I think she left. If that's the one you're referencing.
Yeah, and there was
Crash Out Kylie. Is that who they're talking about?
Another woman that he was really angry at her for, I guess, some relationship that she'd had, and she started crying, and he was mocking her. And I guess what really bothered me was that I just got the sense that he didn't really see me like a person, so to
Oh my
speak.
gosh.
Is I when he started clip farming before then, when he was setting it up to call me stupid, and I just kind of realized, oh, I'm just content for him, and I'm, someone to make fun of. And that's what he wants. He wants my humiliation. He wants my pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't bother him. And I think when he started calling me slurs, that really hit home, because I was like, oh, he wants me to hurt right now. Like,
Damn.
wow,
Damn.
that's freaky. And it's not like I'm
Oh my gosh, dude. Rips, thank you very much for the $5. When I tune into Rob or Andrew or Vic, we explore concepts and logic. All these losers talk about is how everything made them feel. Yeah, exactly. That's just how I felt. I felt, in that moment, I had to reach down when I can, because I felt very scared at that moment. But thank you very much, Rips. Melodramatic woman moment. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is like it's just over that one moment. And this is like this deep thing where it's like, oh, I was very scared, and he really wanted me to hurt. And it's like, oh my gosh, over being called snizzlicker and dumb.
I've been very sheltered. I haven't, I've met people that are not good. I've been out for a very long time.
I've been
and
out for
people
a
have
very
not
long
been
time.
good to me, but I always assumed that if they got to know me, they wouldn't have been so cruel. So I guess
if they would have seen the dazzling personality of Chuck, then and only then would they have not been so cruel. Thank you very much, Papa, for the 5. Can you get any more vague about your accusations? Yeah, exactly. It's just, I've seen plenty of videos of him making women cry. It's like, yeah, where at? ImadeItUp.com. But thank you very much, Papa.
demonstrate to someone in the flesh that I'm a person, just like they are,
I'm a
and
person.
then to feel that they are going out of their way to hurt me as much as possible for their own benefit is uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's next level. I mean, we just met, but you seem very chill, laid back to me. You don't seem combative at all. So for you to draw that
Appreciate that.
out of him, I'm like trying to figure this out myself. There must have been something that just
I don't.
For you to draw out of him, like if she wasn't attacking like his wife, she's just this innocent Bubba Angel. She wasn't doing anything. Thank you very much, 6G, for the $4.99. How does Chuck think she's in a good position here? Wah, wah, wah. Your feelings are hurt after you consulted his wife. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, 6G. All because he called her dumb. And she couldn't take that because she's college educated. She's college educated and she says all the right things. Hey, Marte, thank you very much for the 10. What Andrew does is tear down the guise of cultural plastic persona so we can replace this with less death of moral decay. This trauma to people like her. Good. Yeah. Well, they all get butthurt too. They all say the same stuff. I'm going to, we'll probably get to it today, but there's another little clip I saw from Wick where he says the similar complaints. It's all cope. It's all it is. But yeah. Thank you very much, Marte.
No, I mean, people that reviewed the debate, like people that I trust to be neutral on it, said that I was like very passive, like I was very polite and passive during the debate. Like I never lashed out at him until
people think that just because they're not yelling something or because they're not saying it in like a mean mocking way, that like they weren't being rude or impolite. But she was going after his wife. Like that's impolite. Like just because you weren't yelling it at him doesn't mean what you're saying wasn't insulting.
He made the stupid comment, but that wasn't even much of a lashing, frankly.
Yeah. So maybe it just caught him off guard.
Yeah, and I think he does potentially have a lot of shame about his wife.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Rachel, for the big 1999. Andrew, she was beaten half to death. Thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah, exactly, right? Chuck, you're welcome. But we're supposed to feel sorry for her and believe that Andrew and I are the mean ones. Yeah, exactly. And even after you called in, Rachel, and explained her, like you didn't even have to do that, by the way. But you called in, you explained to her the situation, and after you guys got off the phone, she was still like, but your wife has 3 baby daddies. It was just like, oh, okay. So this isn't about trying to understand or anything. This is just, oh yeah, you're just trying to insult Andrew because he called you dumb. But thank you very much, Rachel. I appreciate it.
It's past.
Interesting.
And I think he knows that, the the things that he preaches about women and the way that he's cruel to them is not, conducive to having married a woman who has had children with 3 different men.
Yeah, because I know on the red pill, I don't know if he's considered red pill, but a big thing is
My
like
red
a
pill.
woman's past matters a lot, right? With the body count.
Yes. And whether or not he's considered red pill, I think is irrelevant because he has been claimed as such.
Mhm.
I do believe the vast majority of people, at least like, I mean, I've had friends and family I haven't spoken to in years reach out to me about this clip. Like they think that the Whatever podcast is Andrew's podcast.
Wow.
Because like what they see of him, what they've ever seen of him is him making red pill talking points about women and being like, you are basically damaged for life, unlovable because of anything
He's
that you've
never
done, and
said
you've been
that.
trying to redeem yourself. Like, gosh, like he was really hard on
Yeah, it's like, tell me you don't understand his arguments without telling me you don't understand his arguments. Thank you very much, D-Card Kane, for the $5 on Whatever. When a girl cried and left the table and the girls talked about her, he defended her, explaining it was natural when a worldview collapses. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you very much, D-Card. Andrew said many times he's not red pill. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's all. It's like, that's how you know, like, you don't really know anything about Andrew or his worldview or anything. If you think he's a red pillar, the host of the Whatever podcast, whatever, it just tells me that all you've seen is just clips and that's it.
I think her name is Nala Ray.
Yeah.
But she's a sex worker who stopped doing sex work and converted to Christianity.
Yep.
And he was hard on her and was, talking about how if his child did sex work, he would, disown them.
Wow.
Even if they became a Christian again. Just things like that. That was just like, oh wow. Like
Oh wow.
cruel for cruelty's sake, in my opinion.
Dang. I knew he was hard on her. I didn't know he said that. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Yeah, because he's pretty hardcore Christian. I moderated a debate with him right before yours, actually.
Moderated.
That was Coach Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a horrible moderation, by the way. Just let Coach Greg just steamroll all over Andrew. Wasn't even a conversation, just constant interruptions, constant steamrolling.
Told about that the next day.
Oh, you were?
About Coach Greg, that Coach Greg had exposed the 3 baby daddies thing later.
He actually, later he did. But on the debate, he didn't know about it. So he didn't bring it up live. But it was hard to moderate. I thought Brian did a pretty good job moderating yours. Because I could not control either of my attendees or whatever.
He didn't even try. He didn't even try. It's like that movie in Hook, but he didn't even try. That part in Hook, the kid, he didn't even try. I had my baseball game. He didn't even try. Thank you very much, Rips, for the 10. Andrew was kind enough to bring her up on a chill stream after their first debate. If people like her could just play nice, it could be recurring opposition's guests on MDD, etc. They have no sense. Yeah, no, exactly. And they have too much pride. All these people are too prideful. They're very prideful people. But thank you very much, Rips, for the 10. And thank you very much, Good Austin, for the 5. Tell me she's not dressed like 90s Rosie O'Donnell. Much love, chat. Vic, for the entertainment. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, very much so. I expect her to call Sean Kiley a cutie patootie. Chuck, go watch the actual exchange. She was brand new Christian starting her own ministry. Like, come on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're acting like he just ripped into her just to do it. But it's like, no, she's starting her own ministry. And it's like, well, no.
Oh, wow.
My debate opponents.
Yeah, I think Brian did a pretty good job, but after the outburst,
he sided with him, right? They're best friends.
Yeah, they're besties, and they financially benefit each other a lot,
they have a
which
course
is
together.
Fine. Like they they help each other a lot, which makes sense. But it was kind of just after the outburst, it was just a 3-on-1, and Andrew Wilson kind of constantly talking over me, which was very annoying because I'm a fairly soft-spoken person.
Yeah.
I don't like to yell.
I could tell.
Yeah.
You think they'll ever invite you back, or do you think you would ever go back on that?
I mean, never with Andrew Wilson. And
he didn't even try part of Hook. Wasn't at the game. It was when Robin Williams was supposed to fly up to the mast to rescue his kids when they first arrive in Neverland. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I could have sworn it was like when he couldn't make it to the game or something, but I think you're right. Yeah, they went, fly, Peter. All you have to do is touch your child's hand. You didn't even try.
It's not because I'm afraid of him, but I think I was really just taken aback by how much control he does not have over his emotions. It seems like he and his wife both really struggle to contain themselves, and especially because he's a chronic drinker and smoker. Like, he was drinking the whole time.
Yeah, that's another cop out too. That's another cope and cop out. It's like, he was drunk the whole time. That's what Brian Shapiro's going around saying too. Oh yeah, he's a drunk. And then the last time I debated him, he was drunk, even though I think he only had like one drink at that time. And it's like, yeah, he was wasted. He was drunk. It's like, okay, Brian, maybe you get wasted after one drink, but not Andrew. Not everybody does it.
So that might have been why he.
I also think so as well, potentially, because he kept having to step out for cigarettes, and Brian didn't have hard enough alcohol for him. And I was actually, in my brain, I was like, is he having withdrawals right now? Like, is that because he's always smoking and drinking on his show? Like, and I don't really feel like it's first off, I don't think it's fair to debate someone that is I mean, I don't want to, make false claims, but to my eyes seems to be struggling with addiction. And also someone that's such a loose cannon.
A loose cannon?
And it just seems, I don't know.
Shout out to today's sponsor.
Shout out to the main sponsor. Thank you very much, 6G, for the $4.99. Someone get her a box of tissues and a therapist. Indeed. Well, this seems like a therapy session right here. But thank you very much, 6G, and thank you very much, guys, for helping me complete that super chat goal. We did it, guys. That's the power of the Coolverse. Here, what was the award? Oh, yeah, here. It's this one.
Here's two kangaroos having a beer chugging contest after completing the YouTube super chat goal. 3, 2, 1, go! Woo, yeah! He takes it at 4.2.
There you go. Thank you very much, guys. All right, let's see. We'll watch a little bit more of this because it is pretty freaking boring. It's another thing. She's also a really boring person. She thinks she's more interesting than she really is.
Viral because of me or anything I did. It was Andrew's reaction. Like, he really had an opportunity there to essentially say, as a Christian, I believe in grace and forgiveness. Like, he had a moment to own me there and make me look like a terrible person. He didn't. He did not at all.
I also think the reaction is important, like how
this woman is insane.
If you're gonna double down on that take, or if you're gonna like kind of apologize or say what you were thinking in that moment, So I think him reacting the way he did could have played a role into how viral it's going.
Yeah, absolutely, because he has just doubled down. My friends sent me some tweets that Andrew and Rachel Wilson have made about me, and it's all it's a little gnarly. It's attacking Andrew found out later that I am detransitioned. So for about 10 years I did identify as
here
a
man.
As in, to explain, I XX chromosomes, born with uterus and all that, but I wanted to transition to male.
Yeah.
I was on testosterone for a little bit. He found that out later, and so he was making tweets calling me like an FTM T-word, TRANNY.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. And then just saying crazy things about me. And also what bothered me was, kind of making the claim that I said that they should abort their kids.
That one I saw.
She did. She did say that. She said that it would have been better. It would have been better if Rachel would have aborted her children. She did say that. They have the clips.
Could you explain what happened with that?
Yeah. So it got into, and mind you, after his outburst, I was like, okay, this is no longer good faith. All right.
This is no longer good faith.
Not, I was, I think, fairly polite afterwards, but I was just kind of not interested in like conceding anything. And so we talked about promiscuity, and they brought up abortion and said, I said, you know, I didn't make it clear at the time, but what I was trying to say is that if she had 3 abortions, rather, you know, having children with 3 different men, optically that would make her look less promiscuous, because you can conceal an abortion. You cannot conceal children that are, you know, you are raising and taking care of.
Yeah, it makes you look less promiscuous. Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, now that people are shouting their abortions, I've had 10 abortions, I've had 20. Yeah, I think that makes you look a little bit more promiscuous, you know, especially if you could just, if you get pregnant, you could just abort. Yeah, that makes you way more promiscuous.
And then they asked me if she should have, and I said, well, maybe. Because I mean,
there you go.
She had just got done telling me that she was abused by her husband, and I was like, in my head, well, I mean, yeah, I think probably an abortion might be preferable to, you know, having a child with, if she's to be believed, an incredibly abusive, dangerous man.
Okay, so the child has to pay for the sins of the father now. That's that whole excuse. Yeah, it's better off just killing them than, you know.
Half her tongue got pulled out. I saw that.
Yeah, that's the claim that she made. I've heard people say that those aren't substantiated, but I also don't like to not believe victims. So I think, you know, I'll roll with what she says. And my point was not that I think she should have aborted her kids, but that, my goodness, that's what I would have done. And that's what I said is
So I like, at first she's like, yeah, I didn't say that. They made it seem like I said that. And then she went on, she pretty much repeated everything she said during the debates. It's so wild. I didn't say that. They made it seem like I said something. I didn't. This is what I actually said. It was the exact same thing that I said in the clips.
Your shoes, I would have done that, because I do think it's the idea of tying oneself to not.
So now she's justifying abortions now. Yeah, but it was Andrew and Rachel that made her seem like she said something out of context. But here she is doubling down, justifying abortions.
Men for your entire life is seems not great.
Yeah, he took a lot of offense to that. I saw that clip.
Yeah, which was I almost, in a way, I don't know if he actually found it offensive, because I did a little bit more looking into Wilson after this, and he's said some pretty heinous stuff about, you know, just the value of human life. I think, like, he
let's see, this should be good. Let's see what she's gonna take him out of context for now.
Like, mocked Palestinian Christians, like reaching out to him to see if they would, you know, promote donations, and he's like, I don't care if you're not American. And so I'm like, do you actively care? Plus, I mean, even if I had said you should have aborted your kids, which I didn't, that's like Call of Duty level insults. You know? That's like when someone says your mom should have aborted you. It's like, well, she didn't, and I'm here.
That wasn't just an insult. That wasn't an insult. You didn't tell him, oh, your mom should have aborted you, Andrew. No, you got asked a question about, you know, so would it have been better off if she would have just aborted her kids? And you're like, well, actually, yeah, it would have been. That wasn't an insult.
You know, like, his children they were born. Their kids are born. Can't take that away.
Wow. So it sounds like you two aren't gonna make up.
I don't think so, because I do think that, you know, looking into him after this and the way that he...
Notice how it's like, oh, looking into him after this. So she got destroyed so bad. So now she has to look into things in order to make her feel better about herself. So she had to find that whole Palestine comment or whatever, the donations, which I'm pretty sure, again, was out of context. And in order to justify her horrible statement about, well, how Rachel should have just aborted her kids, it would have been preferable. You know, again, they don't have arguments, so they have to go back deep and, in order to justify why they lost so bad.
Treated me in the way that he acts. I just feel like he's not a good person.
Wow.
Well,
And
of
I
course,
think that,
of course,
what he does with his life, the way that he makes his money is a lot of just spreading misery and hate. Whatever he says about what he does on his own channel is one thing, but he's most well known for his whatever podcast debates. And those are essentially just about, making women feel bad about themselves. And then in a really big way.
Well, if that's really what it was all about, then he doesn't do a good job, because you don't seem to feel bad about yourself at all. Thank you very much, Piano Dean, for the $5. Crazy thing is, if Rachel had aborted their children, Chuck would call her a feminist heroine of the highest order. But since she chose life, she's evil. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Piano Dean. I don't even care if it wasn't taken out of context. He doesn't have to send him money, which anywhere he doesn't want to. He is America first. Yeah, no, exactly. By the way, too, like that doesn't make what she said any better. Attacking something and going, well, he said this, doesn't make her what she said. It doesn't like justify what she said at all. It's just cope to make herself feel better because she knew she said something awful.
Convincing young men that every woman they know probably has had, slept with 100 men. They all have OnlyFans. They've all had 10 million abortions. Like, it's just not healthy. And I think it is like making gender relations worse. So for his role in that, also the way that he just like seems to love hurting people, getting personal, I can't condone it.
Yeah.
Do you? She doesn't condone getting personal, even though she's the one that brought up Rachel. Oh, but she doesn't condone getting personal, guys. She gets called stupid, and then she gets personal by like, bringing up Rachel. Yeah, she doesn't condone it, guys.
I think the red pill movement, whether he's part of it or not, just like the ideology of it has done more damage to men overall.
I think so, yeah, because I would say while it's, like it attacks women all the time, I think that ultimately at the end of the day, what happens is that men begin to distance themselves from women. They cut themselves.
I'm going to cut forward there. I just want to see what she says about corn, because I guess they talk about corn right here.
Yeah, VPN or different site.
This is about banning corn.
It's banning stuff seems to never really work. I know Andrew and some other people want an abortion ban, but I don't think that would work either.
No, I don't. And I don't think it would work at all. And we're seeing that in states where abortion has been banned. While the the rates of abortion in those states go down, in surrounding states they go up. Abortion bans also don't really do anything to increase the population. So it's kind of useless. I think that abortion bans would just, would just create a very profitable illegal drug trade.
Yeah, people are still going to do them, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It'd be like banning guns. People are still going to buy guns.
They're still going to have
the
guns.
war on drugs made the drug problem worse.
Yeah. And then they're probably going to bring up prohibition. Every time we bring up banning something, it's like, well, look how the war on drugs went. Well, what about prohibition? People are still going to figure out how to do it. And it's like, well, then by that logic, let's just not ban anything. Let's just make everything allowed. Let's just make murder allowed. Let's just make everything allowed because people are still going to do it anyway. So let's just make everything legal then. Why not? But then they'll be like, well, no, that's different. Well, how is it different?
Way worse.
Absolutely.
So how would that work for anything?
It would not at all. I also just think it can be so hard sometimes to talk to people who have such a strong moral distaste for abortion, because I just view it as a very I guess in a very medical, practical way. And also knowing the history of abortion, where for, many periods throughout history, it was like, Augustine of Hippo, who's a very, very early Christian thinker, was like, it's fine until it kicks, then it's alive.
Yeah, third trimester, right?
Yeah, like things like that. So to have it be such an issue now is so strange to me.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
I
strange.
still remember debates as a kid, seeing them on the news about abortion. I can't believe 10 years later it's still this talked about. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
You know what's crazy? You know, so me and my wife, we've been rewatching. Remember the show Beverly Hills 90210? You know, it was an early 90s show. Anyway, so we're rewatching it, right? And they had like an episode about abortion where one of the characters got pregnant, and she was like, her character was like a strong, independent girl boss type, and she the whole episode was dealing like how she pretty much wanted to get an abortion, right? She wanted to get an abortion. She was going to go through with it. She even told the father, like, I'm going to get the abortion and blah, blah, blah. And the father was upset, understandably. Like, it was a whole thing. But basically, it ended with she decided not to go through with it. I forgot what happened, but basically realizing it was like an emotional scene where she has this scene where she's kind of talking to the baby inside of her and blah, blah, blah. And kind of has like a moment there. And she realizes like, hey, this is like a life inside of her. And so she ends up keeping the baby. But sorry, I don't know. I thought someone knocked on the door. But yeah, so she ends up keeping the baby. But I was like thinking about it, like, man, this was like early 90s. I was like, if this episode would have been today, it would have ended with her getting the abortion, and she would have been praised for it in there. Like the new episode of Ted had an episode. The new season of Ted, the TV series. The new season of Ted, the feminist in the show now, she gets an abortion, and it's pretty much treated like, even though like the only one of the only characters I like in that show, the mom, like she disagrees with it because she's like a religious woman and she disagrees with it. But even it ends with her being like, but you know what? It's your decision and I'm still going to love you no matter what. And it was treated as if like, oh, she did like some brave thing, pretty much. She treated some brave thing, Ted and the kid. Helped us, like there was a bunch of protesters in front of the abortion clinic and they distracted the abortion protesters in order for her to go in there and get an abortion. I was like, man, how times have changed. Where in the early 90s, the episode ended with her deciding not to get the abortion. And now in 2026, it pretty much, a lot of them end up with, oh yeah, she gets the abortion. And now it's like, we all have to like accept it, treat her as she said, did something brave. And that it's only been like what, like early 90s, like what, that's like what, 90s, like what, 30 something years ago. That was like 30 something years ago. Like how in my lifetime, like within my lifetime, how the perceptions have changed. Yeah, Susan the mom. Yeah. Yeah, propaganda. That's funny because now they are having to defend gun rights when they usually champion banning guns because they understand their logic can be used to justify an abortion ban. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it was just like within my lifetime, like how times have changed. Where before it would have ended with her keeping the baby, and now it ends with them aborting it, and she's doing the brave thing by aborting it.
And also, I mean, I hadn't thought about this until a couple years ago. But if I was able to get someone pregnant, I would want abortion to be legal. I mean, the idea of being, without any control over it, like someone having my child, terrifying.
Right.
Terrifying before I'm ready to take responsibility. So I don't understand the wave of young men that are so against abortion, because isn't it great that you don't have to be a father unwillingly?
I mean, most people cannot afford a kid.
No.
Just having a kid, the average pregnancy is $18,000.
Dude, that's some evil fucking shit. Shouldn't men be happy? Listen, just get the mom to kill your kid. Don't you be happy? You're off the hook. You could just bang all these women, not have to have any responsibility. Isn't that great? Isn't that what you want? Like, holy crap.
To give birth or no.
Meanwhile, men have no rights in its regard. Yeah, exactly. I'd hang out at the Peach Pit for sure, yeah. Hey, how's it going, Andrew? If you want some inside baseball here, drop me a link and I'll tell you. All right, yeah, sounds good. Let me get a link. All right, there's a link, and this is only for Andrew, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if I see you backstage, you're gonna get tossed. I have too much to do. Does anyone get that reference? It's Howard Stern used to play that clip lots of Ringo Starr complaining about how he doesn't want any more fan mail for fans, Beatles fans. So he's like, stop sending me the fan mail. All right. After this date, I will be accepting them no more. I have too much to do. If I get some fan mail, it will be tossed. Hey, how's it going, Andrew?
Hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'll tell you, I'll give you kind of some inside baseball here on some of this.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean Kelly. So Sean Kelly was, it was Brian Atlas told me not to go on his show initially for the original debate that I had with Coach Greg Adams. So Atlas said, this guy snipes constantly. He's a piece of shit, a bunch of other stuff. He's like, I wouldn't even go if I were you. And I said, well, I'll give him a chance. I'll give him a shot. So he went out, we did the show, did the debate. And of course, the guy didn't moderate the debate at all, right? Just refused to. So
yeah,
it ended up being a shit show, which I don't care. That's going to happen sometimes. But afterwards, we went to dinner at a steakhouse. All of us did, except Coach Greg Adams, because he stormed out of the building. He was pissed off. He's like, let's do this again. And I was like, okay, when? And then he just stormed off. So anyway, we go to the steakhouse, and James from Modern Day Debate met us over there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he happened to be in Vegas at the time. I think that's where we were. So James from Modern Day Debate, I called him up. I'm like, why don't you come out here? I'm working on a project. You might be interested. And he said, sure. So took him out. We had this big dinner and all this, and he had a bunch of projects in mind. Sean Kelly did to do, and so a bunch of other stuff that was going on. I said, yeah, sure, we can discuss it. And one of the things that we discussed, wouldn't you know it, was the what was that debate group that trying to think of it. You remember the that they had that big thing out in Atlantic City. What was it called? The whole debate thing that Thorpes were at and shit. Word War. Yeah. So Word War was, that's where Sean Kelly had heard about Word War, was there at that dinner from me, because I had talked to him about it afterwards. That's why he ended up being a part of that whole thing. So anyway, we go on in that debate series, and it was like hugely successful when we went on in it. And we ended it, if I remember correctly, we ended that with DebateCon, that series. And it was hugely successful. Anyway, the gays, a bunch of gay rights advocacy groups who just hate me. I mean, they hate me. They really started pushing on this clip. And they thought, for some reason, I don't know why, but they thought that I was like a red pill manosphere dating guru. And so they framed everything that way. And that was kind of the undoing there, because people were like, what are you talking about? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But for like 2 weeks, it was a bunch of red pillars and other people were like, Andrew's career is over. This is over. It's all done. It's over for him. Right?
Yeah.
Now people know the thing that they've already known. It's over. So, So anyway, they do all that. Well, Kelly sees all that going on online. And so then he brings Chuck on. He thinks that that's it. He thinks I'm done. It's over. My career is finished. Right. So he brings her on, and I think that he was hoping that would get him, like, there would be a huge push to go over and see, what she had to say. She's the one who took down Wilson, all this shit. Well, nobody watched it, and nobody watched it because nobody actually cared. The controversy was manufactured. So nothing for Chuck, nothing ever happened for Chuck. Not a single view increase. I think she got some more subs to her channel, but she has about the same live viewers she's always had. It's done nothing for her. It never translated to money, and it just never translated to anything for her, because it was never about her. It was always about me, right? It was about pushing the narrative against me. So Kelly basically wanted to capitalize on that situation. But he contacts me after, and he's like, hey, I've got a bunch of different debates in the works. You want to come in? I was like, fuck you, dude. I'm never working with you again. Are you out of your mind? You literally just tried to assist in sowing my downfall, and now you want me to come out and work with you and kiss my ass. Yeah. He's like, well, just give me a call. I'm sure I can explain myself, and we can decide. I'm just like, fuck you, man. I'm not working with you ever again. You're out of your mind. So Brian Atlas vindicated on that one. He said the guy was a scumbag, and he was. He also said that he padded Atlas. He said that the guy pads his views and his subscriber count. And Sean Kelly essentially admitted that to me when I was there. So,
yeah, I'm not surprised by that because, like you said, I didn't even know about this interview. Someone shared it in my Discord today. That's why I'm watching it. Cause I was like, did this just happen? But yeah, it says it's 4 months ago. And I was like, holy cow, I'd never seen anyone talk about this.
Because nobody ever cared. They didn't care. And I guess that's the wrong way to say it. There was a lot of left-wing groups and a lot of homosexual positive groups that cared a lot about it, but they never cared about Chuck. They didn't think, they never cared about her. They thought that she was a clown. That wasn't it. Yeah. It was, they ran with the clip. Nobody ever cared about Chuck. And so, Chuck went on multiple different venues trying to capitalize on it, and just nobody cared, because it was never about Chuck. It was always about me. And I don't mean that to sound like an egotist, but that's what it was.
Yeah, because I saw even Brian Shapiro had her on too to talk about that whole thing too. He was trying to capitalize on that,
and almost nobody watched that either.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the greatest hits of people who hate me who wanted to capitalize on that, but they never could. In fact, it was shortly after that exchange that I went on Patrick Bet David, and then shortly after that I went on Joe Rogan. So I went on these major shows. Now Rogan has been a big fan for years, and he watches my debates constantly. And Patrick Bet David watches my debates also, and they love them. So for them, they had context. Most of the larger conservatives, who a lot of them will actually utilize my talking points. I'm not saying Rogan or PBD do. I'm just saying that there are a lot of conservatives who do. They'll use my arguments, talking points, views, whatever. They had the inside baseball. Many of them had actually watched the debate. So they were really actually confused that people were trying to make this go viral as so it was some hidden expose coming out in the middle of a debate, when I'd already been on most of these people's shows and had explained my entire history with them. So people were mostly confused, at least who were supporters or on the large right. Do you notice it never took off with any major right-wing personality? They never even bothered mentioning it. It was only leftist gay groups that pushed it really hard, mostly from TikTok. And you can imagine that TikTokers just really don't like me, because I've been humiliating them and putting it out for years after I humiliate them. So they have every incentive to really push that kind of stuff out. So it was just a coalition of a few large TikTokers and Instagram artists, and then the League of Evil Prostitutes, which would be like Tree of Logic, and those people who are they're always trying to push that stuff out, right? The League. There is literally a League of Evil Prostitutes who's always after me. It's ironically hilarious, actually, but there's a lot of them, and they're all prostitutes or former prostitutes, which is just the icing on the cake.
That's pretty funny. The League of Prostitutes.
League of Evil Prostitutes.
Yeah, yes, evil prostitutes.
Yeah, the League of Evil Prostitutes. So they have been like Tree of Logic has been adamantly attempting to orchestrate my downfall for years.
Yeah,
she hyper focuses on it. She was the one who sent over all the faux information to Abba and Preach before they made their hit piece. remember Abba and Preach ran with this too. They were looking for a tit for tat. So they wanted a Myron Gaines style relationship where they hit me, then I make a hit piece video back, and then they make a hit piece video back, and it's endless content for them. And of course, those people I deal with, the best way you deal with people like that, I just starve them. So
Yeah.
once they realize there's no food there, they go to eat somewhere else.
Yeah. The whole Tree of Logic thing, when did that start? Because I first saw her, it was like a 2v2 debate, and Rachel was on one side and she was on the other.
That's where
that's where it started.
That's where it began, and that's where it ended. So she actually has, somebody asked her about this, and she actually said, like, I never had any problems with Andrew. Like, I never had any issues with him. She said, we was good. It's his wife. They all, you got to understand, they all hate Rachel. They fucking loathe her. And they loathe her because she's not in a position where she tries to exercise authority over men, but instead she just ends up with the respect of many men. And these women do that in the opposite way. They demand authority over men and then show men no respect. And so they get no respect over men or authority. Right. So they've always been like, they hate her guts. Like, you can't believe.
Yeah, because that debate, she was really pissed off. She was really pissed off at that debate, but she did look really stupid in that debate, but she was going off. I remember that. Yeah, she looked really dumb. It's just crazy.
Well,
like that.
The thing is like debate. she's known for years that the shit that she's saying isn't true. And she said all kinds of crazy shit. Like, I've talked to the exes, that never happened. I found this guy, that never happened. A little birdie told me that this and this and this was going on. She spread the rumors that I was sleeping with women on the whatever podcast, which was hilarious. Like, just anything they can do to kind of put out there and get people to run with, they'll do. But anytime it's actually confronted with sunlight, it just it evaporates because it's just all bullshit. But to me, it's amusing more than anything, because the League of Evil Prostitutes, just the fact that there is a League of Evil Prostitutes and they're all out to get me, it makes me fucking laugh my ass off, man.
Yeah, I joked on my stream before, like, you have your own like rogues gallery going on. Like, Batman has his rogues gallery. You have like your own little like rogues gallery going on. It's pretty funny. Like, it's pretty hilarious. So I didn't know about the League of Evil Prostitutes. That's funny.
The League of Evil Prostitutes that's 90% of the orchestrators of most of the rumor mongering, and the are, like, for instance, the hypocrisy argument that comes from the League of Evil Prostitutes. The all you do is debate OnlyFans girls. That talking point comes from the League of Evil Prostitutes. So what they bank on is audience ignorance. So they're like, what they try to do is say, this is what this guy does and all he does, and that's it, right? And of course, people who have been members of the Crucible for years are like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're smoking crack. But now that's much more difficult. So I expect the attacks will actually get worse, not better, because you can't now it's much more difficult to gaslight people. Now that I've been on Rogan and been on much larger podcasts, many more people have checked me out, and so now you see them defending me. They're like, wait a second, that's not true. Like, I just saw this guy in a massive debate with a PhD. Why are you saying that he only, like, what are you talking about? So yeah, but that's the dark primary orchestrators, the League of Evil Prostitutes. Like, you have different tiers of haters. So that would be the actual tier that has been somewhat effective in the rumor mill hate mongering arena. Then you have the lesser ones. The lesser ones would be like the Panelverse, the Thorpes. These people are just like professional mischief makers, but they're not very effective at it. Like, it was Thorpe's idea for Sarah's lawsuit, for instance. And Grace admitted to that. I actually have a clip of her admitting that she was behind it, and Thorpes were behind it, because they blame me. Literally, they blame me for their lack of success in the space. And you know what I did that was so horrible to them? I just didn't deal. I didn't deal with them. That's it.
Wow.
They can't point to anything I ever did to them except not deal with them. And they've just had a fucking hate boner for me for years, you know, and it's always, we're going to show you. That's where most of that seeding comes from. We're going to show you, we're going to get you. So anyway, that would be like the lesser panel verse, and they're not very effective because they're fucking morons. So they don't have any ears of influencers, nothing like this. And so people just don't pay any attention to them. The League of Evil Prostitutes, though, that includes people like Lauren Southern and many others, right? Now, Southern herself was not an action. Why do you think she just made a recent video and then included me in it, right? She's been seething about me for years. And wouldn't you know it, I had a debate with Lauren Southern that many people don't know about.
Oh,
this
really?
was back, this was back in the when COVID-19 was at its peak. I did a debate with Lauren Southern about why people shouldn't be getting the vaccine, and Lauren Southern was making the case that they should.
Oh, wow.
And they have tried to bury that debate, bro. Bury it. Because of how bad she looked in it.
Where did that debate take place at?
It was on Southern's channel, and it was orchestrated by her then transgender mod, Samantha Banana. Not kidding. So at this time, she was banging Destiny in order to get into Twitch poll. She wanted to get into Twitch politics. And so she was messing around with Destiny. I don't know if they were sleeping together just then, but it wasn't very long after that they were. And anyway, so yeah, we had a debate, and she has hated me ever since. She was actually caught on a hot mic with Destiny saying that, you know, Andrew Wilson doesn't think I'm right wing enough. And Destiny was basically like, yeah, fuck that guy. So anyway, so she's had a seething hatred for me for years. But like Ashley St. Clair, she prostituted herself to Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
St. Clair hates my guts. Tree of Logic, of course, hates my guts. Brittany Venti, of course, hates my guts. And the list goes on and on and on of these various people, who most of them are actually former prostitutes or current prostitutes even.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But true. Every word true.
Yeah.
So when these people get decimated, right, they'll actually, for years, they'll focus on me for years. Like if I lose a debate, I'm like, damn, I got to do better next time. You know, or I lose a point in a debate, I'm like, damn, I got to do better next time. I got to make sure that I shore this up or I do better in this aspect. These people are like, we got to destroy this guy's entire life.
Yeah, for real.
We've got to destroy his entire life and everything that he loves and cares about, and his downfall is going to be magnificent. Like this is what, by the way, for years this has been going on. You'll see once every couple of months, there'll be some big downfall creator who'll be going after me pretty hard, and you'll see like a mini siege come out of it. And it's always the same message. It's over, his career's done, blah, 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 blah. And of course, none of that ever happens. In fact, it has the opposite effect. It actually usually propels me to the next level. It's usually when I'm moving into that threshold of the next level that you see those attacks happen anyway. So I don't know if they're the ones that push it to the next level, or it's because I'm moving to that next tier that they come. I don't know which is true. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's clearly like desperation, because some of it's like they're really reaching, like the you and Chuck thing. Like they try to print it up, like even in this interview, they try to paint it out like Sean Kelly's like, I never seen that side of Andrew before, as if he like lunged across the table at her or something. And all you did was just tell her to, you know, shut your fucking mouth. Don't you like sniz? But they treat that as
it wasn't even
deal.
Well, it's funny because it was, in comparison to the old Twitch poll Bloodsport debates, that shit was timid and tame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In fact, in comparison to what you see in modern panels, that shit was very timid. But like Brian Atlas rightly pointed out, it's like people are so used to seeing you know, go in with an opponent and you just walk out unscathed, that if you even walk out and there's like a scratch on you, that's an L. or that's a loss for you, right? Because that chick got brutalized for what, 6 hours straight, and the only thing that they could turn to, and they just ignored the rest of it. In fact, many of them even said, "I don't care about the rest of it. Yeah, sure, fuck this chick, she's a retard, but it's Andrew that we care about. Did Andrew make a mistake? Did Andrew say?" You know what I mean? It's always, that's where the focus always is. So it's kind of funny too.
Yeah, I mean, like, even with like the olive jar thing, like they're going on about, like, these still bring it up as if that was some huge, like, yeah, you can't even open an olive jar, and it's like, man, that's pretty sad that because they can't beat him to debates in debates, the only thing they have is, oh, but the olive jar. And I was like, that actually says a lot more about Andrew, that the worst you got on him is, you know, sniz liquor and olive jar.
Yeah, well, there's really all controversies are trivial. It's either 14 years ago you married a single mom, haha, you can't open an olive jar, or usually they say pickle jar, or haha, this you yelled at this chick one time, you know, and that's every one of the criticisms is pretty trivial when you consider how much they make a mountain out of those molehills too, especially in comparison to the magnitude of what my opposition is like. You know what I mean? Like the Thorpes, for instance, destroyed and ruined their entire life for the purpose of having a failed streaming career. Like, that's insane. That's actually crazy. But they did that, and then blame everybody but themselves. The Destiny, was in an open relationship for years, is an actual homosexual, as well as many of the other horrible things he does. And then you have Lauren Southern, who was sleeping with him, right? And you have some of the critics like Venti and others who, they were actually part of the Richard Spencer campaign in Charlottesville. You have like in other words, my critics are usually like 20,000 times worse than anything you can lay at my feet. So they kind of build these mountains up out of just complete nothing burgers. It's just like nothing. There's such trivial criticisms that people don't even understand them. They're like, so what?
Yeah.
Exactly. So what? Who cares? And there's like, no, you got to understand. It's really a much bigger deal than you think. How? Because it is. He's a hypocrite. How? Well, we don't know, but fuck you. You know. So that's the thing. Is like, now online, of course, everything's going to be enhanced generally past what it's due, right? The dramatization of a thing will often be presented as worse than the thing itself. I understand that, but a lot of these people take like extremely trivial things and push them as though they hold serious and significant merit when they don't. And they're just very trivial criticisms in comparison to actual criticisms which the opposition receives. And so for me, in many ways, I've always found that amusing, and I'll take that deal. Like if you have, out of tens of thousands of hours of content, maybe a misstep or a thing I did which was embarrassing or blah 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 blah, okay, I'll take it. But I mean, in comparison to what these other people have done, it's like it's trivial, you know.
Yeah, and another thing I've noticed is just a lot of these people. It's just a lot of these people are very prideful. It's like too much pride, too much egos. That, you know, like you said, it's like, you know, they lose a debate or they look dumb in a debate. It's not, you know, their fault. It's your fault, Andrew, and they must take you down now.
Yeah,
and it's
crazy. You're bad faith and you're mean and you're a jerk and you do, you know, it's just like you do every horrible thing possible. And it's like, I don't do any of that stuff. There was this was recent. Grid One sends me a link and he's like, "Hey, you want to pop on this panel real quick?"
Oh yeah.
I said about what? He was like, you know, there's some fucking controversy with Speakeasy that of course had nothing at all to do with me. But he's like, yeah, do we want to pop on? They want to talk to you about it. So I go on. And the criticism, again, it's just trivial criticism. And it just goes something like this. There's people who like you in this space, and it's essentially your job to police them because you're a big name and you can't. So do it, please. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Fuck off, kiss my ass, right? That's not my It's not my business to do. Like, for instance, cool. Have I ever asked you to run content for me, against me? Have I ever asked you to run any content?
Nuh-uh, not at all.
Have I ever tried to police anything that you've ever said on the internet? Have I ever tried to? No, nothing, right? The only thing I think that would even come close to that is we were negotiating for debate, and I just said, you know, if you're going to moderate a debate, then it has to be fair for both sides. I think that's the furthest that I've ever gone, and I was pretty insistent on that, even, right? It has to be fair for both sides, and there can't be any us talking about arguments or anything like that, because it'll break, you know, that would be improper to do. In other words, to be talking to the moderator about debates, right? Which I think is fair.
Exactly.
But I think that's the most I've ever tried to control your channel. was just laying down like groundwork for what I'm willing to put up with debates. Well, that's everybody. But the application here is so weird, because it's always the application of, I need to control the channel, of course, of people that these people hate, right? They hate Speakeasy, so I have to do something. If they don't hate another person, of course, that's none of my business then, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, that I got into recently, drama of my own with people in the panelverse. You know, it was kind of related to that stream you're talking about. But now it's like, so now I'm having beef with one of them, and they're making that argument with me now. They're like, well, Andrew doesn't do enough to police Vic or Speakeasy, and it's his community and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, brother. But all they really want is just you to stop, you know, associating with Speakeasy or like associating with me. Like, that's all they really want. It's not about wanting you to police anything. It's just like, well, you know, I want Andrew to just stop talking to them, so that way, you know, it'll affect our channels pretty much.
Well, let me tell you what's actually happening there. So what's actually happening there is much more kind of diabolical and devious, and even dumber than you can imagine. So it's actually this. So Andrew has agency, and a creator at my size, and again, this is not me bragging, I'm just pointing this out, doesn't usually deal with smaller creators the same way that I do. I'm not going to like pop on those channels and do their panels and do their debates and things like that. They just don't, right? And it's because of the high risk portion of it. They're concerned that like a nobody's going to do something to them and they're going to elevate. And for me, though, my heart is in debating. It always has been. And so when smaller panels offer that, I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. Let's do it. That sounds awesome. Yeah. But that's how I've always been. I've always been that way. So I engage with a lot of smaller channels. Destiny, to his credit, does that too, or at least he did. He doesn't as much now, but he used to do it all the time. And there's a few other creators who do, but not very many. But in this little teeny tiny niche of the internet, they don't have, like, none of those guys have anything like that. And so they see it as an unfair advantage. But you guys, it's not fair. You get a larger audience and you make more money. And, you know, basically they consider it to be a cheat. Like, you guys are cheating.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting part of this is that if you ask them, if you point this out, like, why should, like, it got Trippy to admit he just wanted to punish Speakeasy, and me cutting off Speakeasy would hurt Speakeasy's income. So therefore, you know, like, that you need to do that because I don't like the guy, basically.
Yeah.
But the interesting portion here is this, is that I would go on all of their channels if any of them were just halfway decent to me. But what they did was, all these different people, they get together and endlessly talk fucking shit. Run me down, talk shit about my wife, talk shit about my family, just talk shit constantly over and over and over again. So lo and behold, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to work with you. Why would I work with you when there's many other people who don't spend all day just running me down for clicks? And so they kind of made their own bed that way, right? So for you guys, when you're like, well, wait, actually, I kind of agree with this guy, and I'll give him a fair shake. Or, you know what, I don't agree with him, but I'll still give him a fair shake. They get they're endlessly surprised that I'll go on and deal with those people, but they don't get anything out of it, right? So So you're cheating somehow. That's a cheat, you see.
Yeah. They can't stay. I don't know. Those people, over there in the panels, they're kind of like their own worst enemy, as I see it. It's just like, like pretty much it was like a whole thing that I had with that guy, Orthodox guy. I don't know if that was the one that the stream that you went on to confront over the speakeasy thing recently. But he's like a smaller content creator, and I was reviewing his content, and there was like a misunderstanding where while I was reviewing his content, he put it behind the paywall, right? And so I was like, hey, did you put it behind the paywall? And then he responded to me, sorry, Vic, got to get that bag. So I got upset because I thought he was trying to fuck me over, like try to extort me kind of. And so I got pissed off. And so then he got pissed off because I was pissed off. And then he started fucking with my show. And then Dusty had to fuck with my show too. And so now I'm pissed off at them. And I told him, I was like, I'm pissed at you guys and I don't trust you guys. Why would I want to work with you guys? And instead of like having any sort of like, how do you say, like personal responsibility, like they keep doubling down and now they're just talking shit. And now it's like, they're about making all kinds of accusations. And it's just one of those things is like, I told him, I was like, I'll just take a sorry, dude. Like, just say you're sorry and I'll be like, we can move on. But they're too prideful for that.
That's kryptonite, bro. That's kryptonite.
Yeah.
They'll rather sue you than say that they're sorry to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They'll even sue you after they say they're sorry. They'll even sue you after that. They're like, I'm sorry. And you're like, okay, apology accepted. And they're like, now take this lawsuit. And you're just like, what? Know, right? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, well, that was that was where Sarah got the idea. In fact, she was like, well, this community ostracizes this guy. It'd actually be better if I could bring him on because it'll make me a bunch of money. So that was the motivation on that front. But that's the part that's really funny about it is like these people make the most amount of money when they're talking about me or talking to me.
Yeah.
And so that's why that's what they do. But really what they're mostly mad about is that I'm not raiding their channels and making them tons of cash. That's what they're actually upset about. Never think it's anything else other than that. It really just reduces to very petty jealousy.
Yeah, exactly. It is very petty jealousy. And they'll make all excuses. Then all of a sudden it becomes your problem. Like, well, Andrew needs to police these people better and stuff. And it's like,
well, yeah, well, you got to make it we got to make it into a moral crusade because that sounds a lot better than I'm just really kind of mad that these guys make money and I don't.
Yeah.
So instead they'll moralize and be like, I don't even want to. Like, that's the funniest cope, right? I don't even want to be a big name. I don't even want anybody to recognize my name. I don't even want any money online. I don't even do this for any of that. I don't like, that's the biggest cope, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is basically, I don't want to be successful at this thing I sink tons of time into.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you do, man. Yes, you do. And you're just lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all just cope and like, well, no, I just do this for fun. It's fun to hang out with my friends and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you do want to make something out of this. It's just all cope because you can't.
You can't, right? You can't do it. And what's really funny is these people all got the same opportunities that I got. Mm-hmm. All of them. They had access to the same small channels that I had access to, which was not many. They have the same exact opportunities. It's just that they never capitalized on any of them. They get upset that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So, but ultimately, it's really funny because all you really ever needed to do if you wanted those big channel raids and shit like that was just not be completely fucking horrible to me. It doesn't seem like it's that hard, right? Just don't be a completely horrible fucking piece of shit to me. And yeah, I'll work with you. But it's like once they do it once, then it becomes some kind of moral crusade to cope with the fact that they have to just do it forever. So
yeah, no, exactly. I agree 100%. Like I said, these people, they're their own worst enemy, and then they wonder like, oh, how come my channel isn't growing? But like you said, it's just don't be a complete dick. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, just don't be fucking horrible to people who are in positions to do something for you. I don't like, where else in life does that work?
Yeah.
That's what's so confusing to me is I'm always like, where else does that work? Where else does it work where it's like the people that you want to do for you to get you where it is you're going, that you're just going to treat that person in the most horrible fucking way possible. And basically say the most horrible interpersonal shit about them that you can possibly come up with. And then you're like, I don't know why he doesn't want to work with me. You know, I don't know why he doesn't want to deal with me. I don't get it. This is the internet, bro. Get a thicker skin. It's like, well, I guess I could just be like, oh, you know what? It's water under the bridge, all that shit that you fucking said and all the horrible things that you've been doing. It's just water under the bridge. But yeah, fuck that. Like, why? Basically, from my view, they're the ones who get the favor. You know, I'm not getting any favors from these people.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I understand. I tried, you know, in one of my streams, I tried explaining that recently. I was like, dude, look, let's say Andrew was watching something from one of my streams, and I put it behind a paywall, and he got pissed at me about it, and it was an honest mistake. I'd like, dude, I would like hit up Andrew so fast, like, hey man, it was a mistake, dude. I'm sorry, like blah blah blah. But these people, what they do is they double down and they just talk shit and further just act like a complete dick. And I'm like, dude, like, listen, I'm not like, I know I'm not like a huge content creator or anything, but I'm bigger than yours and I could help you. I help smaller channels like all the time. And so it's like, but you know, like you said, just don't be a dick. Like, it's not that hard.
Let me give you a good example of this. Speakeasy, when my debate course came out, I called it verbal combat, remember?
Yeah.
And that's what it's still called, verbal combat. Well, you know, Speakeasy, he has that panel show that he calls verbal combat, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of drama farmers were trying to go over and tell Speakeasy, hey, Andrew's ripping you off. He's ripping off your idea, blah, 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 blah. Now, I was using verbal combat on my own show before there was ever a verbal combat on Speakeasy, just so you know, just so you're aware. I don't know if he was or not, but it's not really the point of the story, right? Mm-hmm. But Speakeasy was like, so what? Yeah. Now, that's a completely rational response, right? He's like, so what? It's a cool name. Who cares if he uses it for his debate course?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it took all of the wind out of their sails. Just instantly took all the wind out of their sails. It was just like, oh, well, aren't you going to be mad and upset and angry? And he's like, over what? Like, let's just say it is true. And he saw that on my my channel and thought it was a cool name and named his debate course that. So what?
Yeah.
You see, like that's in a very adult response, right? It's like, who cares? What does this have to do with anything? You know, good for him. Like, he didn't care. But to these people, I was like downright like, what? And I mean, they were trying to drama farm that for weeks, man. Weeks. The Speakeasy was having none of it. He was just like, I don't even know why. I remember he DM'd me about it. He's like, why is this a big deal again? And I said, I have no idea. I have no clue.
Yeah. It's all about that drama farming.
Yeah.
You know, anything. Really desperate, these people. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, man. But anyway, Andrew, I gotta move on to the next segment. But thank you very much for calling in and giving me some insider baseball with the whole Chuck scenario, because I didn't know a lot of that stuff. So
yeah, most people don't. I don't mind. Like, I don't think I've really talked about it too much on the show because I don't like giving these people very much attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But kind of like giving you guys the inside baseball is kind of nice because then you understand what's going on in greater context.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too, Andrew. Hell yeah. Thank you to Andrew for coming on, because now that we know some of the stuff that happened with Sean Kelly, because I know I was curious about it. I remember hearing Andrew talking about on one of his streams, all, yeah, Sean Kelly's a snake, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, crap, I didn't know all that stuff. So good to know. Good to know. But what did you guys think about this? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And I'll see you guys later.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that video? I hope you did. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, or else you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to save you from sin. Also, make sure you catch the Cool Stream live Mondays through Fridays right here on my YouTube channel, and make sure you follow me at any of these links down below for everything Cool Vic.